How's it going, guys? Welcome to episode 6 of our double-sided table build. Today we're going to talk about how to build a rusted metal area about this big. It's kind of like a bit of an industrial section of our table. Stay tuned. Hey guys, as we described earlier, we talked about how to build a little metal grate about this big. It's pretty simple build. It won't be too difficult, won't strain you out too much. It's very, very simple. But what happens is once we've finished this, next week's episode is going to bring it to life a little bit more, and it's going to look pretty cool. So stick around and don't forget to like and subscribe. Boom. Leave a comment too, whether you like it or hate it.
Righto, first step is we're going to get some granny grating. I actually don't know what this stuff's properly called, that's all I know of it. It was quite hard to find in Australia. I had to actually go online to eBay to find this stuff. But we're going to cut a strip the size of this little section in the end here. So our next step, we're going to actually paint underneath the bottom. We're going to go brown because we want it to look rusty. We're going to go the rusted metal look because that is absolutely incredible. You don't actually need to use a palette or anything for this. Just put a big blob on and just splash it around. All we really want is an even coat over it. And once we've got it nice and even, we'll just get it nice and balanced. We don't want any little streaks. If you do a little bit of dabbing like this, it just doesn't make it look like it's been done with a paintbrush. Not that it really matters because the grading's going to cover it mostly. But it's just me being my pedantic self. What I'm going to do is paint our granny grating. So this paint can kind of turned out to be a fake. It was empty. Brand new can, here we go. What I do is I paint the bottom first, the part that's going to be facing down on the table. It's important to do this because if you don't, you can have little white patches show up. It looks a bit ugly. Wait till it's fully dry and then give it a hit on the other side. We'll only need to do bottom side once and in black. Typically with this stuff I like to go over with black with everything first, and then I'll do a little bit of a overspray of silver. Gives it the metallic look, but because it's black underneath, kind of just gives you that shadowy effect. I'm going to glue this on. I'm going to use matte Mod Podge because I don't want the under part to be shiny. That's important because the paint part will be showing. Now it did turn out a little bit shiny, but it wasn't too bad. I think it was because I didn't let the paint dry properly first. So that was just me being a little bit of rushing ahead, I guess. So, yeah, you can see there the paint's kind of merging into the glue a little bit. Doesn't matter too much in the end. Actually been hoping to use up this container for ages because I've been wanting to use it to make up a little base coating concoction. Basically you use some matte Mod Podge and a bit of black paint. You mix them together and then that becomes a base coat on a lot of your terrain and stuff. It works a bit better than PVA because it doesn't shrink as much as PVA. But yeah, it's good. What we're doing here, we're just going to put the granny grating on top of the painted part we've done, and we're using this stuff to weight it down overnight. So we want to give this 24 hours. We could have used a different type of glue, but this is what I had on hand, and I'm quite a fan of it. That's what it looks like the next day. We're going to use some Agthrax Earthshade just to make the metal look a bit more rusted. And also the underneath, the rusty colour. Going to give that a bit more of a brown or rust look. Comes up pretty good actually, I'm pretty happy with it. Got to make sure you get into every nook and cranny of the granny. Bada boom. You can kind of see now how you get these little patches that are a bit darker. It actually looks better. It means these little bits look a bit more rustier. Stuff like that. Really got all the Agthrax Earthshade on. What we want to make sure of is that we let this dry completely. We don't want this to have any wetness in it whatsoever. When we come back, we'll get the lead belcher out and we're going to give it a little dry brush. Going to make it a little bit more metallic, as you can see here. We want to try not to let the bristles go into the actual gaps too much because it gives it that little rusted brown underlook. Look at that. You ripper. Here we go. Rise of Rust is our last colour. We don't want to go sort of even coat with this. We want certain areas to look a bit more orange than others. Usually the corners, I find, make it look most realistic. What we don't want to do is overpower the metal look with the orange. Want to give it a little bit of an overhit. Just the orange just makes it just look that bit more rusty. I actually don't mind this dry brush colour either. It's one of the more liquidy like dry brushes. A lot of the other ones, they look like this jelly putty stuff. A bit bizarre. This Rise of Rust isn't. It's kind of a thick liquid. There we go, a bit more in the corners. A bit more rusty looking. There we go, we get it looking nice and even. Pretty simple this week. And that's it. Get in nice and close. So next week we're going to actually put a few more details on top of this. You can see there where some of the glue's pulled up. We'll be able to cover that next week, and you'll just see the table completely change. It actually looks like a city as of next week. So I'll see you then. Now, bye bye.
If you're enjoying this series, like and subscribe, hit the bell notification, leave a comment, say how much you enjoyed this video. Thanks guys, until next time. I'll see you then.